That's probably Mr. Westhouse. It's a brown, slightly cloudy liquor. I can't hold my liquor. I'll be spending the rest of the day doubled over, staring into the ocean, and, I'll just not have any.
Let's talk to, Westhouse.
Hello, Mr. Westhouse?
Damn, Nation, what is it now? Oh, guess you're not calling on behalf of that son of a bitch Sanyef, are you?
Sorry, I don't know who...
No, that's very unlikely. From what I hear, he doesn't much enjoy the company of women. Well, who in damnation are you?
April Ryan, sir.
Ryan? Doesn't sound very Northlandian. Are you by any chance from the coast of... Yeah, hold on. Ryan? April Ryan? I'll be damned. You're from Stark.
Apparently. Until today, I thought I was just from Earth. I had no idea there were two of them.
Takes you by surprise, doesn't it? Well, goddamn. Sit down, Miss Ryan. Let me get you a drink. The liquor over here stinks to high heaven. Magic pollutes the purity of the spirit, but I keep a bottle of Glenfiddich for special occasions.
Thanks for the offer, sir, but I didn't come here to have a drink.
Really? I see. This isn't a social call.
No, sorry.
Oh, no matter. It's still a pleasant surprise to meet someone from home. Now, what may I do for you?
I have a delivery for you.
A delivery? When did the U.S. Postal Service start delivering mail to Arcadia?
It's from the map merchant at the market. It's just a map.
Oh, good. I've been waiting for you. Hold your horses. What are you doing working for the Guild? Are you planning on staying in Marcuria? I'd strongly advise against it, Miss Ryan. Arcadia may look like a pastoral fairy tale realm, but it's not. You bleed as easily here as you do in Stark, and magic can do more damage than a gun.
I'm not planning on staying, but I had to find you. The map merchant was the only one who knew where you lived, and he wouldn't tell me. So I got him to hire me, and you were the second delivery on my list.
Gods. Carrick and his misguided loyalty. I'll have a word with the man. Thanks for the map, though. I collect them. There's not much else to do in this godforsaken city.
Cortez told me to look you up.
He did he? I see. Who's Cortez?
You don't know him?
I think not. I'd certainly remember. Did you say Cortez? You wouldn't be talking about old Manny Chavez, would you? Well, he ought to be dead by now, but then, by all rights, so should I.
I don't know his first name, but he calls himself Cortez.
Tall fellow, mysterious and elusive, rarely answers a question with a simple yes or no. Smokes like a chimney?
Aside from that bit about smoking like a chimney, it sounds exactly like Cortez.
Manny. I'll be damned. That old crook is still around. Well, how the devil is he?
He's good. Where do you know him from?
Oh, my whole life back in Stark. We had some exciting adventures, him and I. Actually, he's part of the reason I ended up here. I last saw him in the winter of 1934.
But that's almost 300 years ago.
Yeah. Funny, isn't it? And I'm sure he doesn't look a day older than he did back then. The handsome devil.
Well, if I'm going to accept magic in parallel worlds, I might as well accept people living 300 years.
Oh, no, you misunderstand. I'm only 46. I arrived here about 15 years ago, but I left Stark in 1934. Between the worlds, where you dream time has little meaning. I was trapped, you see, for quite a while.
300 years?
Time went by pretty fast. It didn't seem so bad at the time, but now that you mention it, 300 years, quite disconcerting, really. Quite disconcerting.
Cortez said to look you up when I wanted to go back home, to Stark.
Now, why would he say that? I'm not a shifter, and I don't know any magic. I'm sorry, Miss Ryan, but you'd be better off asking the Sentinel priests for assistance.
Already did. They said I was on my own, that they couldn't help me.
Bloody typical. Those reactionary fools wouldn't extend a hand to help a drowning man if it violated the principles of their bloody balance. But I can't think why Manny would tell you to visit me in order to shift home. It just doesn't make sense.
How did you end up here in Mercuria?
That's quite a story. I won't bore you with the details, but suffice it to say, I was always somewhat of an adventurer. The promise of virgin territory untouched by civilization held great sway with me in my youth, as did the idea of a highly spiritual state of mind, the occult, magic, karma. I was born in 1902 in Boston. By the time I was 17, I'd put that life behind me. I spent the next 3 years at sea, and then I wandered around Europe for a time. In the early 30s, the 1930s, of course, I found myself in India working as a journalist. That's where I met Manny, and that's where I first heard of Arcadia. I was amazed and quite skeptical at first, but the thought of a whole new world to see and magic? I was a fool, of course, but who knew where my curiosity would bring me?
So what happened in India?
I've tried to forget about it, to be honest. If I could go back and convince myself not to... but I still wouldn't have listened, of course. The unknown tracks. I ended up in Tibet in the winter of 34, wading through snow up to my chest, thinking for sure that this was it, and I was going to die. Manny pulled me out of that one, thank God. I spent 3 months in a monastery before pushing on into the void. There's only one way for a non-shifter to pass through the divide, and it's not an easy road to take. Now, if you don't mind, I'd prefer not to talk about the past anymore. There's more than enough to worry about in the present.
I should get going.
Very well. You're welcome back at any time, Miss Ryan. Any time.
Thank you, sir. I'll remember that.
Well, I might as well get that signature.
Sign this, please. It's just to confirm that I made the delivery.
Certainly.
Let's have a look.
It's Brian Westhouse's signature.
Let's go.
Hold on 1 second, Miss Ryan. I just remembered something. It's such a long time ago, I'd almost forgotten, but Manny did give me something that might be of interest.
What is it?
It's a pocket watch. Manny gave it to me the last time I saw him. I never quite understood why, but maybe you can tell me.
Did he say anything about it?
He said that when his heart started beating again, he would know. It would be like a message in Morse code, a beacon. Damn watch never worked, and the winding mechanism is broken, so it's probably not worth much. You're welcome to it if it's any help.
Thanks.
And that's what is the entire key. Now you cannot leave anymore.
Cortez said something about Mr. Westhouse being the key to shifting back. Maybe there's something magical about the watch he gave me. Great view. Back home, a place like this would easily set you back tens of millions. Here, it's probably free.
Now,
It's an antique pocket watch. It's not ticking. The knob used for winding the watch seems to have broken off, and there's only a tiny hole left.
oh, we can use the pin for that.
If I insert this pin carefully into the hole, like so, and then slowly wind it... It worked! It's ticking! I did it! It's a shift! I can go home!
My God, it's a shift. I haven't seen one for ages.
Why don't you come back with me, Mr. Westhouse? You could say hello to your old friend, Manny.
If I tried to step through that, Miss Ryan, I would suffer a most unpleasant experience. And I would be lost in the between forever. Besides, I built this house with my own two hands. I wouldn't want to leave it to these barbarians. And what does your Stark have to offer me? This world is more recognizable to me now. Now you go ahead, Miss Ryan. Go back. And don't let your curiosity of the unknown tempt you into making another shift.
Thanks for your help.
Say hello to Manny for me. Tell him I'm doing all right. And then I said, thanks.
Cortez. Oh, God, it's real. It's all true. I saw it. I saw the other world. Arcadia. Either I'm going crazy or you were right about everything.
Let's hope for the latter, mi amiga? So I gather your trip was a success.
Success? My whole world has been turned topsy-turvy, so I don't think success is the right word. Nothing about it makes sense. Fact is, I don't believe in magic.
The sun does not need you to believe in it to rise in the morning, señorita. You have seen the truth with your own two eyes. I can do nothing more to convince you. It is up to you now.
Well, do I have a choice? I have to believe at least some of it. My life wouldn't make much sense otherwise.
You are a true skeptic, April. Está bien. We need your kind to balance the hopeless romantics like myself.
What happens now?
The Minstrom told you about the balance, about Stark and Arcadia.
A man named Tobias. He was called the Vestrum, I think. Vestrum Tobias.
Ah, so Tobias made Vestrum. Que bien, good. I knew he would go far when I first met him years ago. He was just an instrument then, a student of the balance, but he was smart and resourceful. So you know what is going on with the balance.
Tobias told me that the Guardian was missing and that the balance was failing. He said this would bring chaos into both worlds.
As we are already seeing, your dreams, your nightmares, they are part of these. You sense chaos more keenly than most, but even they are beginning to notice that things are not as they should be. Like last night.
Who are you really, Cortez?
Excuse me?
People knew you over there in Arcadia. Tobias. He didn't know you by your real name, but he did know you. And Mr. Westhouse, he knew you too, as Chavez, but several hundred years ago.
So my secrets are being revealed, are they?
I wouldn't say that, because you're still a mystery to me. Or so.
Good. You see, señorita, mystery is important. To know everything, to know the whole truth is dull. There is no magic in that. Magic is not knowing. Magic is wondering about what and how and where.
I'd settle for the truth, just to be able to know you. Because, honestly, I don't mean this in a bad way. You scare me, Cortez. I'm afraid of you.
And you are not the only one, mi amiga. I'm sorry, but whatever it is about me that mystifies you, it will have to stay a secret. There are things even you should not know.
Gee, thanks. That really helped.
Perdóname. Perhaps later, when we are certain of what the future holds, okay? I think I can promise you that, Señorita Ryan, later. But for now, we must speak of more important matters.